Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna be going over our weekly analysis. So we're gonna be starting off strong with Dixie. We're gonna have a view on how I am looking at Dixie this week. So if we start with the weekly, we can see the price is pretty much bearish right here. We can see the price is making lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, and another lower low. But there is a very strong area of structure right over here where price is looking to target. Reason being, we're starting to see this crazy bullish move right over here, and also on the daily we have shifted structure because this is the lower low, this is the lower high, this is the lower low. Price broke above this. Now price came for a retest and is starting to go up. Another confluence that I'm adding up is the inverted head and shoulders that we see over here, with the shoulder, head, and the other shoulder. Price has come down to reject it and already is giving us signs of rejection, which is a pretty bullish sign for now, as we see that on the micro time frames this is a pretty bullish move right over here. Price is starting to go bullish. And also if we have a zoom out on, let's say, the daily time frame or the weekly time frame, if we add up Fibonacci levels from the low highs to the lows, the 50% aligns pretty well with the weekly area of structure that I was pointing out. This is overall giving us signs that price is starting to give us a rejection and will probably head and give us a rejection from this area of weekly structure. Now we're going to start off with odd NCD. This is something that I'm looking to enter as soon as the markets open. Of course, I'm going to wait for the 2 p.m. candle to close so that there's just less fees and less spreads right there, because as soon as the markets open, the spreads are pretty much crazy. Now we've seen a crazy weekly rejection right over here. Price is giving us a bullish pin bar, rejecting a lot of structure right over here. And if you go down to daily, we could see the crazy move that we're seeing right now. So the week daily is pretty much bullish. Price made a high, price made a low, price is starting to make another high. Now if you go down to 4 hour, we could see that there's this area of structure over here where price has taken a lot of resistance right over here. Price broke above, came back for a rejection, and then gave us another pin bar. And now if we go down to 1 hour time frame, we can see that there's also a bit of this trend line right over here where price has started to reject. And we got a really good bullish engulfing that clearly overshadowed the 4 hour bearish move starting from this candle right over here. So this is something that I'm looking forward to. My stop loss is under this area of demand. I just didn't mark it down, but we can definitely consider this area of demand. I just don't want my screen to be super cluttered, but let's just add it for the video. So this is this area of demand. Price could always tap into this and go back up. So I'm going to put my stop loss a little wider from over here, giving me about a 2.7, 2.8 risk to reward. Our next trade is USD GBP. So since I'm bullish on the dollar this week, I'm going to take advantage on all the dollar pairs. As we can see, it's pretty much the same analysis on this. Price is making lower lows, price is making lower high, price is making lower low, price is starting to go back up, reject this weekly area of structure to make another lower high. Reason being is because if we go down to daily, we are starting to see this bullish move right over here. And 4 hour makes it much more simpler, as there is this area of structure on the 4 hour where price has taken a lot of support, a lot of resistance, a little fake out over here where price came back down, came back up into this area of structure and gave us a bunch of rejection. We can see these wicks right over here. Those are signs of price rejecting. Price is also rejecting the 200 EMA where price has taken resistance and support in the past. Another confluence that I'm adding up is the 15-minute time frame. We can see a pretty clean inverted head and shoulders right over here. So I'm just waiting for a clean break and a retest, and I'll be longing the markets from somewhere over here all the way up to here. It's a little riskier trade, but I'm going to put my stops to break even once I score like a good 1-to-1. My stops being under over here, my take profit being over here. So I have the possibility of scoring 1 to 4.26 risk to reward. Next trade is my favorite trade for this week, GBP USD. As we can see, the price is at this area of weekly structure where price has taken a lot of strong rejections right over here, a lot of strong rejection, support, rejection. If we focus on the last 3 weekly candles, we can see there's a little bit of consolidation and crazy wicks right over here, which basically is showing us weakness in the buyer's market right now. If we go down to daily, we could see a very clean head and shoulders right over here, which is another reversal pattern with a shift of structure. This was the high, this was the high low, this was the high. Price broke above this low, closed below this low, and now price is giving us bearish signs. I'm going to be targeting this strong area of weekly point, or sorry, daily point. If you go down to 4 hour, we can see the head and shoulders pretty clearly. So what I'm going to be looking for this week is for price to close under this area, so I can take my position, giving me a good risk to reward of 1 to 2. Not a lot, but I'm going to go wide on my stop loss, as there's still this area of rejection right over here. As soon as price closes under this area of support, where we can see support, 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 and another support right over here, as soon as I see a close under there, I'm going to be going all in on this trade. Next up, USD Swiss franc. Again, going with my Dixie analysis, pretty much same thing. Price is making low. I'm just waiting for rejection to this high, because there's a very strong area of structure right over here. It acts like a magnet, if you see about it, okay? If there's a very clean and strong area of structure, it acts like a magnet. Price, if breaks under this area, it has to come and reject it. That's just how the markets usually work. Now, if you go down to daily, we could see a clean shift of structure right over here, as this was the lower high, this was the lower low, price closed above this lower high. That's a break of structure right over here. And then we can also see a very clean double bottom formation on the daily time frame. If you go down to 4 hour, we could see the double bottom clearly, and also we can see that price is starting to reject this 4 hour structure right over here. So what I'm going to be waiting for is for like a clean break above this area where price has failed to close above. As you can see, price has just given us wick. So I'm going to be waiting for a 4 hour candle to close above this area for me to go long. Let's say, for example, if it closes somewhere over here, I'm going to put my stops below this candle right over here, this Friday closing candle, take profit somewhere over here, giving me a very clean risk reward of 1 to 2. This will also give us more confidence, as the 1 hour is sort of bearish right now. Not really, but we have this bearish structure. Price will shift from all this bearish structure and give us more bullish confirmations. Now, Euro USD, pretty simple to GBP USD as well. Pretty clear area of structure, very strong structure. We are starting to see this bearish move. If you go down to daily, we could see a very clean head and shoulders as well. Price has already rejected this head and shoulders. I kind of did miss this entry because it was right before the market closed, but that's okay, because if we go down to 1 hour time frame, we can see this minor support on the 1 hour. So I'm going to be waiting for a break under this. Possibly what price could do is just make another, reject this again, make a high, and then possibly break under. That would be the best idea, because that will also give us a 1 hour head and shoulders, adding up to our confluences. Pretty clean structure. We could see that price was bullish at one point, then it consolidated and price broke under these highs, these lows, and then gave us a very clean rejection, very clean pin bar formation, and then also a bearish candle just to confirm it. So yeah, one of my strongest trades too. Then next up comes USD CAD. Just something that I missed, but if price comes under here, I'll be looking to enter again. As we can see that price price broke above this area of major weekly resistance. Price broke above, gave us a little support, but price also came all the way back down to take another support. Like I have been explaining last few weeks, price has started to consolidate, which is a very bullish sign. We got a really good bullish candle. So I'm just going to be waiting for a weekly wick into this internal structure of resistance. As we can see on daily too, price shifted structure, really clean. I might or might not get an entry, which is okay. If price gives me like a better another rejection, which it highly could, if you see how many rejections of resistance it had over here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rejections right over here. So very highly likely that price will come back down here for another rejection, also give us the weekly wick into this area. So another one of my strongest trades. Then comes CAD JPY. So we're gonna start off with weekly time frame. If we just look at this clean structure right over here, price is pretty much bearish. This is the high, this is the low. Price did break structure over here, giving us a bullish sign right over here. If we add our areas of structure, which is this one right over here, we can see a lot of rejection, support, rejection. So price is basically heading back over here for another rejection. Price did once, but as we can see with this structure right over here that we see over here, it is another confirmation that price is heading for another rejection. Now, if we add our Fibonacci's from these highs to these lows, the 50% aligns pretty precisely with our area of structure. The daily is kind of conflicting. It is a little ranging right now. Not a lot of strong moves, very confusing, but that's okay because we just go down to smaller time frames and we get a better picture. The price is making highs, lows, highs, lows. Price is going to make another high, just this internal, in this structure of price making another high right over here. Price is just making internal highs and lows. So we can see a high, low, high, low, high, low, high, and a low, and then another high. That's how price generally tends to move. So I'm just going to be waiting for this 1 hour candle to close above this area of structure where there's a lot of support and resistance. As we can see, support, 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 resistance, resistance, resistance. So once price closes above here, I'm going to be entering the markets over here, somewhere, stop loss somewhere over here, take profit somewhere over here, giving me a really strong risk to of 3.34. Really interesting trade too. Really excited for this one too. And yep, we're back to Dixie. I still have a few more trades, but these are my strongest trades for this week. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 very strong trades. Most of them that I'm going to be taking as soon as the markets open. So I'm going to keep you guys posted. And yeah, if you have any ideas or any comments, then leave it down in the comment section, and I'll make sure to reply to all of you. Thank you, and have a great week ahead.